Have you ever looked up at the stars and felt like there's something more to all of this? A hidden layer to reality, a secret language the universe speaks that we've all forgotten how to hear? For centuries, people have been asking these same questions, searching for a deeper meaning, a connection to the infinite. And for many of them, that search has led them to a mysterious and ancient path known as Kabbalah. Now when you hear the word Kabbalah, what comes to mind? Maybe you think of celebrities with red strings tied around their wrists. Maybe you picture old bearded mystics poring over cryptic texts in dimly lit rooms. And sure, those images are part of the story, but they're just the surface. Kabbalah is so much more than a trend or a historical curiosity. A roadmap of the soul designed to help us understand ourselves, the universe, and our place within it. It's not just about reading ancient books. It's about rewriting the book of your own life. At its core, Kabbalah is a mystical tradition rooted in Judaism. The word itself comes from the Hebrew root meaning to receive. This tells you something fundamental about its nature. It's not about inventing new ideas, but about receiving or uncovering divine wisdom that has always existed, hidden just beneath the surface of our everyday reality. Think of it like a spiritual archaeology, digging through the layers of the physical world to find the divine sparks that lie buried within. This idea of hiddenness is central. The foundational texts of Kabbalah, like the Zohar, suggest that the stories in the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, are not just historical accounts or sets of laws. They are a garment, a beautiful and intricate covering for a much deeper, more profound spiritual reality. The literal stories are the body, but the Kabbalistic interpretations are the soul. To a Kabbalist, reading the story of creation isn't just about what happened in the beginning. It's a coded blueprint for the ongoing process of creation that happens within the universe and within each of us, every single moment. So how does Kabbalah propose we access this hidden dimension? One of the most famous and central symbols in Kabbalah is the Tree of Life, or the Atz Chim. You've probably seen it before, a diagram of 10 interconnected spheres, called Sefirot, arranged in a specific pattern. It looks complex, and it is, but the basic idea is beautifully simple. The Tree of Life is a map. It's a map of the cosmos, showing the way divine energy flows from the infinite, unknowable source, what Kabbalists call the Ein Sof, or without end, down through various stages and attributes, ultimately manifesting as our physical world. But here's the incredible part. It's not just a map of the universe out there. It's also a map of the human soul. Each of the 10 Sefirot corresponds to a different aspect of our own consciousness. At the top, you have the higher, more abstract realms of thought and inspiration: Keter, Chokmah, Bina, Crown, Wisdom, Understanding. As you move down the tree, you pass through emotional attributes like love and kindness, Chest, strength and discipline, Gevurah, and harmony and beauty, Tiferet. Further down, you get to the more practical aspects of our being: endurance, Netzach, humility, Hod, and the foundation of our connection to the world, Yesod. Finally, at the very bottom, you have Malkut, the kingdom, which represents our physical body and the tangible world we experience. The journey of the Kabbalist is to learn to navigate this inner tree. It's about recognizing these different energies within yourself and learning how to bring them into balance. Are you all intellect and no heart? Or all emotion with no discipline? The Tree of Life provides a framework for self-assessment and growth. The goal is to create a free-flowing channel, allowing the divine light from the infinite source to pour down through all the levels of your being and manifest in the world as positive, creative action. It's about becoming a conscious partner in the process of creation. This brings us to a key concept in Kabbalah, Tikkun Olam, which means repairing the world. The Kabbalistic creation story is not one of simple, perfect emergence. It's a story of cosmic drama. One of the most influential Kabbalistic schools, founded by Rabbi Isaac Luria in the 16th century, teaches a concept called Shevirat HaKelim, the shattering of the vessels. The story goes that when the divine light first began to pour forth to create the universe, the vessels or containers that were meant to hold it were not strong enough. They shattered, and the holy sparks of divine light fell and were scattered throughout the cosmos, becoming trapped within the shells or clipot of the material world. This wasn't a mistake, it was part of the divine plan. The result is that our world is a mixture of light and shadow, of divine potential and material concealment. And this is where we come in. Our job, our very purpose for being here, is to find those hidden sparks of divinity in our everyday lives and elevate them. Every time you perform an act of kindness, you are lifting a spark. Every time you choose consciousness over autopilot, you are repairing a piece of the world. A conversation, a walk in nature, you are participating in Tikkun Olam. This is a radically empowering idea. It means that your life right here, right now, with all its challenges and imperfections, is the primary stage for the most important work in the universe. You don't need to retreat to a monastery or a mountaintop. Your office, your kitchen, your relationships, these are the places where the world is being repaired, or, God forbid, further broken. Kabbalah gives you the tools and the awareness to make sure you are a force for repair. What are some of these tools? Meditation is a huge one. It often involves complex visualizations, like meditating on the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. In Kabbalah, the 22 Hebrew letters are not just symbols for sounds. They are considered the primordial building blocks of creation, the very DNA of the universe. Each letter has a specific shape, sound, and numerical value that holds deep spiritual significance. Then there's the power of intention, or kavanah. This is the idea that the spiritual effectiveness of an action depends not just on what you do, but on the consciousness you bring to it. You can give charity out of a sense of obligation, and that's good. But if you give charity with the focused intention of channeling divine abundance and bringing more light into the world, the act takes on a whole new dimension. It's about living life with purpose, transforming mundane actions into sacred rituals through the power of mindful intent. It's important to understand that traditionally, Kabbalah was not something one just decided to study on a whim. It was considered the inner dimension of Torah study, reserved for married scholars over the age of 40 who had already mastered the outer dimensions of Jewish law and text. The idea was that you needed a strong, stable foundation in place before you could safely explore these powerful and potentially disorienting mystical realms. It was a safeguard, meant to ensure that the pursuit of spiritual ecstasy didn't lead to a disconnect from family, community, and ethical responsibility in the real world. Today, of course, Kabbalistic teachings are much more widely available. And while this accessibility has opened up this profound wisdom to countless seekers, it also comes with a caution. Kabbalah without the ethical and communal framework can sometimes be reduced to a kind of spiritual consumerism or magical thinking, the red string for good luck, the incantation for wealth. But authentic Kabbalah is not about getting what you want. It's about wanting what God wants. It's about aligning your personal will with the divine will, transforming yourself so that you can become a clearer channel for goodness, wisdom, and love in the world. Ultimately, the hidden dimensions of Kabbalah are not found in a secret scroll or a locked book. They are hidden within you. They are the untapped potentials of your own consciousness, the divine spark that animates your very being. The teachings of Kabbalah are a key, but you are the door. And the world on the other side is a reality filled with infinite meaning, connection, and purpose. It's a call to wake up to the magic that is already all around us and within us, to see the world not just as a collection of things, but as a living, breathing expression of a divine consciousness that is calling out to be known, to be loved, and to be healed. And the beautiful, terrifying, and thrilling truth is that you are the one who has to answer that call.